Awesome. So thank you everyone for joining tonight. I really appreciate the back-to-back here. So my name is Stephanie Haddon. I am currently a full-time instructor at WorkSafe BC. My presentation today will be on customer service and what we believe the expectations are or should be for companies that we give our business to. So for the learning outcomes for my presentation today, what I really want to accomplish is just to have a collaborative discussion to find out what customer service exactly means to all of you and what different forms of customer service are currently being offered from businesses and how we value those. I'll go over some recent stats regarding Canadian customer service, and then finally we'll discuss what we think companies should be doing to create a better customer service experience for all of us. So my first question for the group, you can unmute or put it in the chat, whatever you're more comfortable with, is in your own words, what does customer service mean to you, or what would you define as what customer service is?
For me, it's catering to your client's needs.
For sure. Assistance, yep, it's a big one.
Customer service is a way to help your client or in a way to meet their goals.
Yep, I would agree with all of that as well. So let's see what the internet is telling us that is the definition of customer service. So according to Wikipedia, customer service is the assistance and advice provided by a company to those people who buy or use its products or services. Each industry requires different levels of customer service, but toward the end, the idea of a well-performed service is that of increasing revenues. So now that we've kind of figured out what we think it is and what the internet's telling us is, do we agree with the definition from Wikipedia of what customer service is? For the most part. I would say, yeah, for the most part, yeah, I think it does touch on what customer service is. I think what it means to each person and to each company will slightly alter, of course. But overall, it's in the name, right? Customer service, you are providing services to your customers that are in need, right? Essentially that. So we think about customer service and what different channels or forms are available to us now in 2023. What are some different avenues from some different companies that we can try and get to if we need customer service help? What's out there currently right now? Again, you can type in the chat or verbally say it. Phone, yeah, so pick up the phone and call. Email is another one for sure. A chat, yep, chat bots or real life chat people. Those are some for sure. In person, yep, old school way of getting customer service. Yep, so I think we've actually got both in terms of the two sides I wanted to break it down into. So we've got the digital assistants, right? So those chat bots, a website search, frequently asked questions list on a website, those interactive automated voice systems, or online help forms. That would be our digital assistants. And then we've got an agent assistant, right? So call centers, picking up the phone, chat channels, talking to a live person, social media, email, in-person assistance, right? So when we take a look at these different forms, what do we think personally for us or in general, what do we think is one of the best forms of customer service that we can try and get to if we need help? An agent? Yep. In person, something that's quick, right? So yeah, Hannah, you're kind of on what I'm thinking as well. So I think it really depends on what you need, right? So if it's a quick question, say for example, I'm going to a concert and I want to figure out, okay, is there parking available at the venue? Or can I bring my backpack with me to the venue? Then maybe I can look at the venue's website and maybe they'll have frequently asked questions where I can probably find my answer pretty quickly, right? Probably don't have to call an email if it's on there. Or say, for example, I need wheelchair assistance and I go to their website and I don't really find the information that I'm looking for, then I would probably have to use a different avenue, right? I may have to email them. I may have to call them. Sometimes if I don't hear back in time, then maybe I'll have to go to the venue earlier and look to see if there's somebody that's in person that can assist me, right? So I think it really just depends what you're looking for to depend, which level of customer service you need and which avenue you're going to kind of try first before you go to another one. The last question I wanted to ask on this slide is, in terms of social media, what kind of impact do we think that social media has on the world today when it comes to customer service? Do you think it's a big impact? Not so much? How does social media affect customer service?
I think the social media is still up and coming from a customer service point of view. If they have the right team for it to manage it, but if it's very chatbot like, then I don't think it's as trustworthy.
Yeah, it kind of just depends, right? I think that some companies have really great online social media presence, right? And, for Twitter / whatever X, whatever it's called now, some people will complain on there and they'll instantly get their problem solved right away. When they've been trying to get their problem solved for weeks with, no one picking up the phone, they make one tweet about it and all of a sudden they're getting their problem solved. So it can work in certain situations as well. And some people, Google reviews, or people are very quick to post, what they've gotten on social media from, from certain people, right? So it can backlash for companies quite quickly if they don't have proper customer service in place for their social medias as well, right? Exactly. Thanks for your comments in the chat there about that. So the next thing I want to show is a quick video, and I hope it works. So give me 2 seconds to pull that up and let me know if you can hear the audio or not. Can you hear that?
Hello. Welcome to Visa's personalized customer service kiosk.
Oh, great. This is so convenient. It's so much better than those annoying phone call message centers.
Here at Visa, personalized service is key.
Great. Okay, listen, my credit card was just stolen.
Please listen to these options carefully, as our menu has recently changed.
What?
If you would like to set up a new account, say yes now.
No, my card was stolen.
I'm sorry, I didn't get that. If you would like to increase a credit limit, please say yes now.
No, I just want to tell you what happened.
If you would like to report a stolen card, say yes now.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I could not understand your response. If you would like to report a stolen card, please press 1.
Where?
Beep, beep. You have pressed an incorrect key. Sorry you're having trouble. Goodbye.
Look, can't we just talk?
Hello. Welcome to Visa's personalized customer service kiosk. After the tone, please say your name.
My name is Margaret. Margaret Francis!
Your account balance is $452.
I don't need my balance.
Your account balance is $2,040.
What? Oh, God, somebody's racking up charges on my card. Get stop this.
You have now exceeded your credit limit. To increase your credit limit, please press 1.
No, God!
Thank you. Your credit limit has now been increased to $25,000.
Yes! My God!
Please note, this personalized interaction may be monitored for quality assurance. Visa has a variety of new services.
So I'm going to pause it there. It's a little bit longer, but I don't want to waste too much time on it, but kind of get the gist of it. So what are our thoughts on this video? So Hannah said, story of my life. I think we've all probably been here at one point or another, right? With those automated phone systems. So any other thoughts on that video?
That video was really interesting to watch because you could understand the frustration also because you're expecting personalized customer service, but it's not really personalized. It's very automated. Definitely interesting. I actually really enjoyed that.
Yeah, It's a bit longer if you, yeah, I can share the link after. It's quite funny, but yeah, it's a tragic comedy. Yeah. So it's a video that I share in my class as well when I'm teaching of how easily frustrated people can get with those automated phone systems. Well, they could be great for certain companies, saving money, and cost effective, and maybe they do help people in certain senses. It's not for everyone, and there's certain situations, and there's people that don't get help on them and get very, very frustrated very easily. So I'll just move on here. So the next thing that I wanted to talk about were some statistics that are from businesswire.com, and I wanted to make sure that I got statistics that were specifically Canadian statistics, so they kind of relate to us. So I'm going to start on the left-hand side of this chart here, and it's going to be consumers and kind of what they've been feeling in the realm of customer service recently. So Canadians today are using more channels than ever to communicate, presenting new customer service experience challenges for companies. So 41% of Canadians say poor customer service will drive them to purchase from another brand. 16% of Canadians will pay for greater customer service experience. Only 23% of Canadian consumers strongly agree that they can receive consistent service across all channels. So all those different ones that we kind of talked about on the previous slide. And then against the backdrop of COVID-19, only 28% of consumers felt companies have actually mastered contactless interactions and engagement. So when we take a look at these statistics, do any of them surprise you, or does it seem pretty on par for kind of what we've taken a look at? So in terms of how many are participated, I can double check the website and let you know and get back to you on how many people were in the survey specifically for both of these ones. But this would be Canadian, so Canada-wide, not just British Columbia. So for me personally, I don't think any of these numbers actually stood out to me. To me, it seemed pretty on par for probably what people would be feeling in general. Does anyone else feel otherwise?
I think what the 28% was interesting for me. I thought that was a little lower. As we are more in an automated world, I felt like we did have a higher percentage of getting that. But I mean, it's not for everyone, like you said earlier.
Yeah.
So 41% people having bad experiences, that would make sense that the 20% is there too.
For sure. So this was the consumer side. So let's take a look at now what businesses are feeling on their side. So in terms of the value of customer service, it's well recognized in most businesses that it's important. However, they don't believe that their companies are maybe using enough, advanced tech analytics to identify improvement. So it said less than 1/3 of executives believe that their organization obtains and analyzes customer data well. Only 27% believe the tools being used to collect the information from customers is adequate. Only 33% of employees are aware of customer feedback programs within their organization, and only 43% of employees are actually engaged in those active programs at their workplaces. And finally, 60% of employees feel that they lack necessary tools to deliver proper customer service experience to their clients. So anything on the right side, any of those numbers shock you at all? That was the one for me as well, Hannah, that's 60%. So that's a big chunk of employees that feel like they aren't given the proper tools to actually do their job properly, right? That's a huge problem, I think, that probably a lot of customer service agents are feeling. They're probably feeling very, very burnt out, and they're not given the proper tools from their employers. So I think that's probably a big problem here as well, with is probably what's contributing to some of the numbers on the left-hand side here. So now that we've kind of talked about what we think customer service is to us, we've seen some of the statistics as well. What do we think that, say, for example, an agent, so if you're making a phone call to a business, or if you're going in person with an inquiry, whether it's a question that you have or a problem that you have and you need resolving, what kind of services, or what should this person on the other end of this conversation, what should they be providing you with? What are some ideas regarding that? What do we think that we need from this person on the other end? Solution is a big one, right? Are they able to help us come up with a solution? Confidence that the issue can be resolved. Yep. What else? Anything else that comes to mind of how they should act or?
I think the biggest is having an open mind without having their own biases come in the way. I feel like a lot of times they don't listen. They just they hear a part of it and then they just try to offer solution. So trying to understand from the point of view of the customer rather than them is the biggest time where I felt like there was the biggest conflict.
I completely agree with that. So that kind of feeds into active listening, which is the first thing on my list, right? Active listening is huge, not cutting people off, letting them, express what the issue is or what their question is, right? Empathize with them if they are having a hard time with something, right? Use positive language, ensuring they have the technical skills to assist people. Know their service or product, know what they can offer, what they can't offer. Be authentic. I think that's really important as well. Being authentic goes a long way. Communicate clearly, making sure that the client or other person understands exactly what you're saying, breaking it down into plain language, right? Instead of using, maybe terms that your business uses, explain to them exactly what's happening. Provide solutions. Admit mistakes if mistakes have been made. And willingness to do better. So if this conversation did not go well, if this client was very upset or something did not happen the way that it should have, be willing to learn from that. How can we make sure that this doesn't happen in the future to somebody else? How can we learn from this and help someone with this problem better in the future? So this would be from a customer service agent. So now if we kind of climb the ladder a bit, because it's not always their faults, right? When we think about the higher up, so the management leaders, right? The executives, what are their responsibilities when it comes to customer service within their company? What should they be responsible for?
I think setting out and guidelines, I guess, having proper guidelines set out on what the standards are for the customer service.
Yeah, proper training, the power to solve, right? Giving them, the tools that they need necessary. Correct, right? Guidelines for resolution for sure, right? Because they need their support as well. So I have a few things here for this as well. So things like we mentioned, providing staff with, proper adequate training, providing staff with proper support regarding that training, having high standards in your business for customer service, wanting to have that. Having a proper escalation process, I think, is important as well, as sometimes your agents aren't going to be able to help resolve, serious matters. There needs to be a proper escalation process in place for them to go to for those specific clients. To be careful with those chat bots or those automated phone systems like we've talked about. They can be helpful in certain situations, but it's not always the case. Have speed, but also efficiency in your services because and I think Hannah mentioned earlier, waiting in line, waiting on the phone. People don't like, TELUS, for example, waiting on the phone for an hour trying to get a service, right? There needs to be a level of speed, but also efficiency within the customer service that you provide to your clients. Measuring and analyzing customer feedback, right? We always get those, hey, there's going to be a survey at the end of this call, or please give us a review, but making sure that the companies listen, understand, and they take proper action with that information. They got to do something with it. Otherwise, what's the point of getting that information at all, right? So when we think about kind of what we've talked about so far, what is a company that we think exemplifies really good customer service? Anyone that we can think of? What's one that comes to mind? Good customer service company. Is there any out there?
I've had not too bad experiences with banks. I feel like they've done a decent job with the phone agents. Their automated system is very annoying though. There's been times where I call the credit card and like if I don't put the right numbers in and they just put the call on me and it's like, well,
Yeah, and I think it would, yeah, I think as well, some situations with the bank stuff, yeah, I agree, is resolved super quick. Other ones sometimes takes a bit longer. I know
the
one,
automated ones are not good.
yeah,
Agent assistants are way better.
Yeah, in person for sure. One company that usually gets brought up in my class when I ask this question is people usually say Costco. Sometimes people will say Costco has decent customer service in terms of returns and helping with things, and that could only be,
Return everything and everything.
right? So people might say that's a good, customer service thing, right? But again, it really just depends on, each person and their own experience, right? Because if I ask you, which companies have bad customer service, I'm sure everyone can list a bunch instantly, right? I think our minds can instantly go to the ones that have bad customer service. And it's hard for us to remember the ones that have good customer service. And that's the same thing with this whole social media and everything, right? If people have bad customer service, they're quick to go onto social media and, put that all out there. But when they receive really, really good customer service, maybe they'll tell one or two people, but they won't blast it as much as if it's bad customer service, right? So these are just the resources that I had used for my presentation. The last question that I wanted to leave everyone with before I can ask you for some feedback is going through my presentation, what's kind of one thing that stood out to you or one thing that you're going to take away from this presentation?
I can start off where I think um that I like the division of the automated and agent assistant. I don't think I ever had a definition of it before. That was interesting for me. And how the 60% was pretty interesting because
Mhm.
As much as companies pride themselves, their employees feel different, which is actually not shocking.
Yeah, right.
But
Thank you for awesome. Thank you. And thank you for your comment, Hannah, as well regarding the customer side, consumer side of things, but also on the management side as well. I wanted to make sure that I included that. But yeah, if anyone has any questions for me, I know I can follow up with your question earlier, Nav, how many people were in that survey. So I'll make sure that I do that. But yeah, any other feedback you have for me or any other questions?
for the feedback, I really enjoyed your presentation. I learned something new today, and your flow is on, like, flow is good. You seem confident, and the presentation content was really good too. It was simple enough for me to follow along, but also made me learn something. And the video is a good bonus in there too. I think that kind of wakes people up a little bit. So that was a good one also. So I think you really had a lot of practice with this topic, so it really shows through with that. So I think that was be a good feedback. Um, I don't really have any, like, honestly, like, anything to say that you could improve on. I thought it was pretty good overall.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I thought the presentation was really good too. The only problem I had was I really loved the imagery of the robot and the human, but I think for some reason those two pieces were just too small for
Okay.
the space of the
The
slide.
slide. Okay.
Yeah.
Make that a bit bigger. Okay. That's good feedback. Thank you.
Yeah, it was hard to read, I think. I mean,
Okay.
that's the only thing that I can think of. Yeah.
No, that's good. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah. I think the image itself was a little bit skewed, so I need to fix that a bit.
But good images, like, the robot and the human, that's the dichotomy right there, right?
For sure.
Yeah. And actually, can I say something to Hina's presentation too? I wish I'd said it earlier. I really like that you could see her face on the slide.
On the screen, yeah. That was cool.
Yeah. I mean, we can kind of control where we see you and see your voice. But Hina's presentation really made her, like, her face part of the presentation, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's a
Thank you
good
so much.
setting. Yeah. What is that setting? I would love to know. I'm not a Zoom person. I'm a Microsoft Teams person. So Zoom is like hard for me to use sometimes.
Yeah, I just figured it out this morning. It was in
Okay.
one of the advanced settings, so I'll
Advanced settings.
send you the
Okay.
sequence how to reach there.
Okay, yeah, because that would be good for future use for sure. Maybe you can try it out for your presentation on the weekend, Brennan.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Yeah, no one wants to see my face.
Awesome. So yeah, I'm able to attend yours on Sunday as well, Brennan. So I'll be there for yours.
Oh, great, thank you. I was worried that maybe nobody's going to show on Sunday.
Yeah, I know we're kind of getting towards the end here, so I was just like, you know what, everyone that comes to mind, I'll make sure I'll go to yours too. So
Right.
awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
there's any, yeah, go ahead.
Brendan, did you already do an asynchronous one already?
I did not. No, I've got to do that one yet too.
Okay, so just let me just post it. I'll keep an eye on it. I might not join the synchronous one, but I'll definitely do the
The asynchronous one.
You could do the asynchronous and mine return. Mine is already posted, so that way we can help each other out that way.
Yeah, I'll take a look. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, if there's anything else, let me know. But thank you all for your time. I really appreciate, again, doing the back-to-back presentations today. I really appreciate your feedback and your time. So good luck with everything else, and I'll see some of you a bit later.
Thanks so much.
Bye.